Hi, I'm Jen from the Faithful Sidekicks, and I am going to talk today about Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. It's a cooperative deck building game, which hits two sweet spots for me. I'm a huge fan of deck building games. Not living card games necessarily, but deck building where you always start with the same set of cards and then you build your deck as the game goes. And I love playing cooperatively. In this game, you get to play the heroes, Harry, Ron, Hermione, or Neville. Right now I've set it up with Harry and Hermione. And you're all working together to take down the villains before the villains control the locations. One of the things that I love about this game is the learning curve is really gentle because it's actually set up in 7 years of play, or 7 games. Game 1 through Game 7 to match the 7 books. The first game is really straightforward, basically just teaching you how a deck builder works if you've never played one before. And then more cards are added for year 2. You still start with your same deck of 10 cards, but now there's more in the market, and there's more villains to defeat, and the locations, there's more of those to protect. And there's more nasty dark arts events happening. That's one of the things that goes on with this game, is that there's multiple decks to deal with, which is what the board is for, just to keep track of them for you. So the board is technically optional, but it's very pretty, and it's the Marauders map. So each turn is a very straightforward routine, and that happens no matter which year you're playing, but the play becomes more complicated within those steps. So the first step is Dark Arts event. Notice the baddies go first because they're mean and bad. And you do whatever that card says, which is usually losing health, or the villains are healing, or you're adding doom to the location. Doom to the location. And then the villains do their thing, and then you get to do yours, which is playing your cards. When at the start of the game, your cards will be in 3 different types. They'll either be items, like Harry's invisibility cloak, allies, like Hedwig, or spells, like Alohomora. They will give you things like zaps, which you can apply to the villains. Booyah. They will let you heal your health, or they will give you influence, which all these do. Influence is the term in the game for money, because the things that you can get include allies, and that would be really weird saying that you're buying an ally with money. So instead, you're acquiring an ally with influence. You're acquiring Quidditch gear with influence. You're acquiring the spell Incendio with influence. It doesn't completely work every way, but at least it's not buying people. So, we'll go with it. And then, once you've done all your things, bought any cards that you could afford, you apply your zaps to the villains, you put all of the cards you've played in your discard, and you draw new. And then it's the next player's turn. It's a very straightforward play. One of the things that I like about the game, besides the general gameplay, it's easy to learn, and yet it becomes more complex and a deeper game as you go on with each iteration, year 2, year 3, year 7, is the components are actually quite nice. The dice are big and chunky and easy to read. The doom that goes on the location are chunky metal bits with a skull on them to show just how doom-filled they are. The cardboard tokens for zaps and money are totally sufficient to the purpose. Each player has their own player board, which can track their health and has separate spots to keep track of the zaps and money they're accumulating. But you take all those and put them up here by the end of your turn. And one of the things that is always a big deal for me with games is how portable is it? Because we travel a lot. Now this game comes in a big box. I mean, we obviously have games that are bigger, but this is bulky to put in a suitcase. However, if you are willing to go without our big Marauders map that keeps track of decks, you can pack it down into this box with everything else, just not the main board, and still have room for another couple of card games in here. So I've actually traveled just with this box with like 3 or 4 games in it and nothing else, and then that's my games for a whole trip, which is great. So, this is Harry Potter's Hogwarts Battle. It's put out by USAopoly, or I guess they call it the Op now. And it is a solid title. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan, or a deck building fan, or a co-op game fan.
It's Team Neville for the win. Team Neville for the win. Let me hear you sing